Hi guys. I do this video one day earlier because I really feel like sharing things that I'm going through which are so strong, and I've heard so many sharings from people about what these strong ego transits are, how they affect us physically, emotionally, stressfully, and for me, I feel really stressed physically in the heart center and in the G center because I have my own two ego channels and the other two are conditioned by the transits, and this is very strong. And the last 2 days with the channel of recognition, the whole thing is very, very stressful and full of pressure. And also I'm going through a very strong experience that I really want to share because it really shows us, for me, it was a real understanding how this transit really affect us and how it is beautiful to just experience this when we are in our strategy and authority. So my story is about the whole configuration and the channel of recognition. So first of all, the channel of recognition is dominant on my design. I don't have the 41, the 41st gate, and I don't have the 30th. I don't have the fantasy, and I don't have the clinging fire. And it is so strange for me to suddenly experience such a strong longing for an experience, such an emotional build-up. Really, I could finally really feel what this channel is and how it works. And even now, as we speak, the moon has entered the 35th gate, so it's the completion of this human experiential way, a part of the 36. So, for example, people with the 36th gate now can really feel this, and with the channel of community and all these root pressures, this is really, really strong. And what happened to me in these 2 days, and especially was very strong yesterday. First of all, I started feeling this longing, this really craving for, the word is longing for an experience, longing to touch the emotional turmoil and desire of the 30th gate, and then the crisis, or the experience, and then go up to the throat with this really strong, and I have the 21st gate, so I have an outlet of all this to the throat now because of the 45th gate. So the whole thing was building up in me, and I was restless, and a part of feeling all this stress on my ego, because all the ego activations, I felt this emotional desire in me, and it was so strong, and it's not me. I have it a little bit, my mind is experiential, and I have a format of the experiential, the 53rd gate, but this was something that I haven't felt for a long time. And then what happened is that the feeling of this channel connected with the money line that is conditioning me now, and the channel of surrender that conditioning me now. These three channels belong to a design of a man that I had a relationship with 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, in this time, in the end of December, which is my birthday, we had a very unique experience. Both of us, we traveled somewhere for my birthday. And this day was connected with the atmosphere of the Christmas and of this birthday of mine. And suddenly yesterday morning I started feeling the energy of this day, because here it became a little cold and it started to be like a winter. And that day that was 8 years ago was a very, very cold day. I think it even had a little snow, which in Israel is very, very rare. And we traveled to somewhere in the north to see some Christmas atmosphere and feel it. And suddenly I felt this yesterday. And because I'm so aware of the transits and I knew what's going on, I realized immediately that I feel this energy of this man, because these channels and all these activations are actually bringing his energy to me, even though it's totally not about him. And I could feel with all this longing of the channel of recognition and all this feeling, and of course the 26th gate is also a gate of memory. So my mind, my experiential mind, abstract mind, could relive the experience very strongly. And I felt it, and I totally surrendered to this experience. And instead of feeling that I miss him and I want to see him and I want to be with him, which I'm sure if I wasn't in the experiment was the interpretation, how my mind would interpret this experience. Instead of this, I just completely surrendered to it. I wanted to relive it, but in me, without needing to do something, and this is a lot of pressure, these 3 motors to the throat. Wow, this was, but I could really feel how instead of moving and doing something, I just took it in. And the only thing I did do was to share with this man. I just wrote him a few words that I really cherish the memory, and that I just want to thank him again about this memory that I have, that I really, it was like, I was so glad that I have this memory in me, and there was nothing to do about this memory, which usually in situations like this, that of course happened in the past this way or another, I would believe that I really miss him, need him, want to relive it with him, want to do something with a relationship that, this was 8 years ago. And it was really beautiful to experience and beautiful to learn how strong this affects us. And I still feel this longing for an experience. I really feel it in every fiber of my being, but I look at it and I know that in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, this is going to go away and it's okay, and I can enjoy the longing and feel it and look at the fantasies, look at them, but know that this is not me. And if anything, if nothing comes through strategy and authority, then it's just a movie. And the movie, these movies that the transits bring us are very real. They feel very, very real. It's very easy to identify with them. And this is what I felt now. It's the first time I could feel it so clearly. In me, not listening to somebody's talking, not looking at outside. It was feeling it physically, very, very strong, and yet knowing that this is just a movie. So I really needed to share this with you, to give you the give you the inspiration to really get into it and see how the movie is very, very real. It's not just a visual movie. It's more than 3Ds. It's multi-dimensional movie. It's really, it's like interactive game. We get into it, we can feel it very strongly, but just don't need to do anything about it. It was really, it was an initiation for me. So tomorrow, very early in the morning, Israel time, the cross of Eden is going to enter. The sun will enter the gate 11, the gate of the ideas, and will be anchored in the gate of caution, the gate of articulation. Let's see. The gate of ideas is part of the abstract mental stream. We have the channel of the abstract, you know, the gate of confusion, and then the gate of oppression. And the next step after realizing the past is ideas that come out from this realization. This is a very, very stimulating gate. I have it in a defined ajna in head. I have this stream. I mean, I have this channel of the abstract, and the ideas are coming all the time. There's never a dull moment. Ideas, ideas, ideas. And of course, before the experiment, I was sure that every idea needs to be manifested, which of course was very, very, very confusing and frustrating and full, and the results were full of bitterness. These beautiful ideas are inspiration and stimulation to others when invited. There is no energy in these ideas. They can't be manifested unless they are really invited by others, and then, of course, because this is a part of the human experiential way, this is part of the abstract collective circuit, it needs time to see if this really, if these ideas really will stay, will, you know, hold water. I don't know if you say this in English, but in Hebrew we say it doesn't hold water. So what we need to understand about this gate is that it's going to bring us a lot of ideas. It's going in, especially when it's an open head. This is really, you know, everything that gets into the head creates ideas. But these ideas are not for us. This gate is not about running my own life with these ideas. All the mental activations are not supposed to be about us, about conducting our life. It's not about this. This is really, it comes from the abstract mental stream. The realizations produce ideas. The ideas have only one purpose, and this is to stimulate. Yes, it connects with the 56th gate, the gate of stimulation. So it's only for stimulation. And if these ideas as outer authority serve something, well, lucky us. But the main purpose, job of this gate is really to stimulate. This is also a gate of teaching. Again, it depends on the whole design, of course, but this is a gate that teaches with the stories. Yes, the stories of this gate teaches us. And this is, wow, this is about, it's about the stories that stimulate, the stories about the past that stimulate us and tell us about the human experiential way. Yes, it's a interesting gate. Yeah, some very interesting people had this gate. It's really the gate of teaching. And of course, if we look at the channel of recognition again, there's this resonance, resonance between the channel of recognition that belongs to the stream of desire and this gate. I mean, because it's all part of the abstract circuit. So the ideas today and tomorrow could be about the desires that this channel of recognition brings. Interesting. The gate of caution, another very, very interesting. I mean, these two gates are very, this opposition in the wheel is very stimulating, I think. The 12th gate is the gate of caution, stand still. And it's interesting because if we look at the line that this gate has, a quality of restraint and the importance of meditation and inaction in confronting temptation. Now, this is part of a emotional manifesting channel, and it's talking about caution. This is a primary gate of action, but this gate doesn't really like to act so fast, and it doesn't even like to talk all the time. It's cautious. It's really about meditation and inaction in confronting temptation. The temptation is, of course, the solar plexus, and it's part of the stream of moodiness, yeah, the stream of emoting, which is very moody. So this is a gate that articulates poetry and music and creativity and a lot of melancholy. Yes, the melancholy in this gate is about there's no one worth talking to, there's no one worth mutating. It's the opposite of the 22nd gate with its melancholy of there's no one worth listening to. So here is there's no one worth talking to. There's nobody to mutate. This is a mutative channel. The impact of this manifesting channel is about mutating the other. And here, the caution that this gate has, it's about, am I going to open my mouth now? Is it the correct mood for me to impact, to mutate? Interesting thing about this voice in the throat that says, I know I can try, yes, or it says, I feel. This voice in the throat, when people speak with this voice, they sound very, very emotional. Even if they say something completely trivial, you can feel the emotions coming out of this gate every time they speak. So these two interesting gates are going to be in the sun and in the earth for these 6 days. And of course, if we look at the configuration now, if somebody has the 22nd gate, then the whole thing is going to burn and connect, and the root pressure and the solar plexus pressure and the ego pressure are going to come to the throat. Wow, this can be very interesting. While I'm speaking, I remember a few people that I know that have the 22nd gate in an open solar plexus. Wow, this is going to be very, very interesting to see the reaction, the effect of this transit. The nodes have moved to the first line. The first line is the foundation of the channel of community, of the friendship and the willpower of the ego. The first line of the 37 is the mother or the father. This is the foundation of the family. And the first line of the ego is about being able to enjoy the fruit of the hard work of the ego or not. Yes, it's really about the foundation of the channel of community. And then also Venus entering the 19th gate, the pressure of need, the tribal pressure of need, the gate of approach, that again will create the stream of sensitivity to everybody who has the 49th gate, the gate of revolution. And there's a lot of pressure on this 49th gate because of the channel of community and the 49th gate. And again, everyone that the root will be conditioned from the other transits then will feel this approach, this need. And with the clinging fire and with the channel of community and with the 12, a lot of action around the solar plexus and the ego. Wow. And then in the 16th, we are going to experience the channel of curiosity, a design of a seeker, the gate of stimulation, the wanderer will be, the moon will be in this gate and will connect to the gate of ideas. Now this, of course, will light up the 12th gate as well. And this channel of curiosity is, again, a part of the human experiential way. There's a resonance between this and the gate of desire, and this is all about seeking, yes, the channel of curiosity, seeking stimulation. And it's interesting that this seeker is not supposed to find anything. I mean, here, the experiential way of the seeker is really to be immersed in the seeking, to enjoy the seeking, and then to share about the seeking. It's not about finding. And of course, whenever you have this, whenever you meet this channel and it also have an open G in the design, then the seeking begins to be, could happen, could be obsessive because of the open G conditioning. But this channel is not supposed to find anything, just seek and be immersed and enjoy and surrender to the experience of seeking, and of course sharing about this when invited. It's about stimulating by these stories. Yes, the storyteller. This is one of the two channels from this of this circuitry, which are about storytelling. The other one is the prodigal, the design of witness. And the last adventure we are going to have this week that we are going to talk about is the moon going to enter the gate of dispersion, and we are all going to eat from the apple of the Garden of Eden, and then there are going to be all kinds of consequences that we don't know. It all depends. I mean, they all depend on how did we enter this? Did we eat the apple according to a strategy or authority or not? Now, we shouldn't forget that we still have the trickster, and this tribal trickster is trying to sell us all kind of things. And you can see it here that Snow White is she doesn't fall into these tricksters, manipulations. She knows what she wants. She found the correct apple that she wanted. And she tells us that Eden is all about strategy and authority and sleeping alone. And you can see how happy she is when she wakes up in the morning all by herself. All the little dwarfs and everybody and the princes and the tricksters, they all left her last night before she went to bed, and she could rest in her own aura and find her Garden of Eden. So I wish you a great Eden week and great nights by yourselves in your Eden. This feeling of completion of the day, you know, to be with yourself, it's so sweet. I love it. And yeah, let's experience. We have a lot to experience. Let's experience. Just remember that it's all a movie. It's all Dungeons and Dragons interactive game. See you.